Okay, I thought I'd run through this cylinder example too. And when I read the question, I have my finger under the words all the way through, so I make sure I don't miss a word as I track through. So, as a part of a cherry for your school, you're asked to fill a cylinder with a volume of 1,000 centimeters cubed. So I know the volume equals 1,000 centimeters cubed right away. Full of pencils and erasers, these cylinders will be collected and sent to developing countries. The students who can't afford them, as a class, you decide to make your own cylinders to save on purchasing them. If you know your height is equal to the diameter, what is the radius of the cylinder going to be? Well, I know that on a circle, the radius is from the center to the edge, and I know that the diameter is all the way across. So I also know that the height is also 2 times the radius, because the diameter is 2 times the radius. And it's kind of important. I can't have too many different letters, so I can have volume and radius, but I can't stick diameter and height and everything else in there at the same time. So let's go ahead and put in the formula we have for the volume of a sphere, excuse me, of a cylinder. And then I'm going to go ahead and write through the volume I know is 1,000 centimeters cubed equals, I like the equal signs to line up all the way through, pi times the radius squared, and instead of height, what I'm going to do is put 2 times the radius. So now I've only got one letter in here, the r, that I don't know. Everything else is a number, pi is a number, and so I can solve this, okay? I need one variable only. It's really important. Okay, so then I'm going to move through and say 1,000. I'm going to drop the centimeters cubed, but I'm going to remember it in my head, but just to make life easier, I'm going to drop it for now, okay? When I multiply, I do sign number letter, sign number letter. So the sign is positive all the way through. The number, there's a 2 and pi are both numbers, and then the letters r squared times r is r cubed. Okay? Then I have to say I want r on its own, because that's what I'm trying to solve, is the radius. That's what I really want to know. And so I need to get r on its own. So what's by the r? This is 2 times pi, which is like 6.28 if you want to multiply it out. And I say, okay, what's it doing? It's multiplying by r cubed. I need to do the opposite to both sides. So I say, what's by the letter? What's it doing? Do the opposite to both sides. So I'm going to use a different color to show it nice and easy. I'm going to divide this side by 2 pi, and I'm going to divide that side by 2 pi. 2 pi divided by 2 pi is gone. I could have divided both sides by 2 and then done the next step and divide both sides by pi, but I'm just doing all in one for that, okay? So now I'm left with, I'm going to rewrite it, 1,000, whoops, 10,000, 1,000 divided by 2 pi is equal to r cubed. Is that okay? And now I need to get my calculator, so I'm going to grab the graphing, just the calculator from the computer. And if you go to view, it starts out like this, but if you go view scientific, you get a little more options. And so I need to calculate 1,000 divided by, now 2 pi is stuck together, so I'm going to use brackets, 2 times, and then I'm going to grab the pi button here somewhere. Rather than using 3.14, it's going to use 3.1415926. It goes on forever, okay? Close the bracket, and I'm going to say equals. And so I know that r cubed is equal to 159.14. Okay, so 159.14 is equal to r cubed. And I'm going to bring that calculator back again if I can find it. And I need to get r on its own. So I'm going to take the cube root of each side. So it's even got a cube root of x here. So if I hit cube root of, and it reminds my last answer, cube root of that is 5.42. Let's round it to 5.42, okay? So I'm going to say I need to take the cube root, let's do it a different color, of each side, because that'll get me r on its own, because the cube root of r cubed is just r. One number multiplied by itself 3 times is r cubed. Well, r is, because r times r times r is r cubed, right? And the cube root of 159.14 we said was rounded to 5.42. Now I'm going to bring the units back in. It was centimeters cubed all the way through. The cube root of centimeters cubed must just be centimeters. Okay, I like to put a box here on my final answer as I go through, but it's a word question, so I need a word answer. So I'm going to say, therefore, the radius is 5.42 centimeters. Okay, I'm going to go back up and double check. What did they ask? They asked, what is the radius? Yep, what is the radius? So that's what I needed to know. If I want, I can also say, and the height is twice that, so that's 10.84 centimeters if I wanted to as well. Okay, there we go.